Good morning, you fellow hooligans. Yes, you are hooligans along with me. I'm King Hooligan. You are hooligans as well. You could be King Hooligans. I just say I'm the dumbest out of all of us. No, this is not how I should start the video. I'm calling you guys dumb. Wait. Hello to all my intellectual friends. How are you guys doing? Sorry that this race review did not go up yesterday. My birthday was on Saturday, so Saturday and Sunday, as you can tell, I've not uploaded on Saturday and Sunday. Well, Saturday I was celebrating my birthday. Sunday was a little bit of a carryover from that because I had friends in town for the weekend. So I just made sure to put YouTube to the side for a little bit, and I will get back to you guys today. I was able to watch the race. I was, with my little AirPod in my left ear, and it was on my phone the whole time, and I was able to watch the race and really watch pretty much all of it and get a good understanding of it, and that is why we're doing the race review today. I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for supporting the channel. Not only just the Patreon members, but everyone. Massive thank you for all the years since 2016. I think we've been doing YouTube, so it's been a very long time. And so thank you guys for all the support. I am now 26 years old, so I'm on the wrong side of the 20s, which is a little bit of a shame. But seriously, thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who has watched the videos, who supports, who follows me on Twitter and Instagram, sends DMs, interacts with the tweets, Instagram stories, tells Sky he's a king, which he is. Thank you guys as always for all of the support. Now let's get into it, and right away let's make an apology. So I have to apologize to Richard Childress. Yeah, it's not Kyle Busch I'm apologizing to, because I expected Kyle Busch to do really well, one of the best of all time. Not a surprise. I am apologizing to Richard Childress because, as you guys know, I've said this on multiple occasions. RCR as a team, I don't think can provide a driver with a championship winning race car. I've been saying that for a while. I said that with Tyler Reddick. I said that when Kyle Busch moved to Richard Childress Racing. And the reason I've been saying that is because, recent history, long-term history, Kevin Harvick really carrying RCR for so many years, not able to win a championship, not really be able to be a favorite either. Then he leaves, dominates with SHR, and, RCR just goes through this phase of just nothing really happening. And then Tyler Reddick last season was the first time I really thought, like, whoa, okay. And I thought it was mainly because of Tyler Reddick, not really because of RCR. And I made a little bit of a miscalculation in terms of, yes, Tyler Reddick's really, really good. I really, really rate him. But is he better than Kyle Busch? And I think me, along with a lot of other people, maybe forgot, just how great Kyle Busch is. I always knew Kyle Busch is great. I always call him one of the greatest drivers of all time. But I just didn't know if he was going to be able, because in my opinion, I thought he would have to be at an all-time high level in order to carry RCR to be able to win a championship. However, it looks, I know it's only one race, but at the Clash at the Coliseum, Kyle Busch was really, really fast. Daytona, Kyle Busch is not that great of a super speedway racer. We all know this. He really has never been a great super speedway racer. Daytona, he has one of the fastest cars of Speed Weeks. Crashes in the duels, but even his backup car, which was I think one of Austin Dillon's backup cars, is just as fast and it's just as quick. So that means that RCR is doing extremely well, and Austin Dillon ran really well yesterday. We'll get into the race results later, but there were times where Austin Dillon was in the top 5. So that's what's changing my mind a little bit. You have Trackhouse Racing, who did very well yesterday as well, with Chastain having one of the fastest cars. Daniel Suarez ran really well yesterday as well. The Hendrick cars looked pretty good as well, not just Chase Elliott, who ended up finishing second, but Alex Bowman and William Byron looked pretty decent. Larson had a engine failure very early on, but he was also up towards the front. But with that engine failure, you never really got to see what he could do. And so the Chevys looked really, really strong. And one thing I think that I have to grab my head around, I'm not used to this yet, is that with the next gen car, the field is just naturally closer. There's not as much of a difference between, let's say, Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing versus, JTG Darty Racing, or I don't know, Trackhouse. Trackhouse is really, I don't want to put Trackhouse in that category. Trackhouse is really good, but the not bottom tier teams, but the mid-level teams. I could even maybe throw 23XI in there right now, but we'll talk about them in a second. But yeah, the whole field essentially is closer together because the next gen cars, it's not a spec car, but I mean, you really can't do much. You're kind of in a very, very tight box with what you can do, which, you know, really puts a lot of emphasis on the manufacturers, horsepower, engine power, and that stuff matters. Aerodynamics, of course. And right now it looks like Chevy, you know, they're looking pretty good. You know, they're looking definitely pretty good just based off yesterday, a track which requires a lot of horsepower and a track that requires a very good chassis, downforce, aero levels, everything Auto Club was. I say was because it was the final race there. It was a true test of kind of everything. So regarding all of that, I am making an apology. I'm owning up to it. I truly believed that RCR could not win a championship. I really did. And I am doubting that now. I'm doubting that. If they are able to maintain the speed that they had last year and at the beginning of this year, because it's not just reacting to one race. That's the main difference. That's the main thing I want to point out, is that I'm not reacting to one race. I'm not stupid enough to react to one race. We have to wait 4, 5, 6 races for this season to really see who's very competitive. But last season, that 8 car was one of the fastest cars in the field. And so the combination of last season, and I don't think this season's going to be all that different, really, it's making me believe a little bit. Just seeing how fast Kyle Busch was, it is making me believe. I mean, he literally had a speeding penalty for the second race in a row, and it just didn't really affect or bother him. That car was really, really good. The Chevys were really, really good. And Kyle Busch was really, really good. And you know what? I think with Joe Gibbs Racing, towards the end, there are a lot of things off the track that affect a driver. There have been some of the greatest of all time have had off the track issues that affect you. And sometimes you need a change of scenery, or sometimes those issues just kind of clear up. And I think Kyle Busch just didn't have the trust or the confidence from Joe Gibbs Racing that, you know, maybe he thought he was the problem because he's in the same 18 ride. Joe Gibbs Racing, why is he not winning? And he just needed a change of scenery. And you know what? You know, kudos to him, because a lot of people, including myself, thought going from Joe Gibbs Racing to Richard Childress Racing was a step down. However, with how he was performing at Joe Gibbs Racing, with how he was being essentially treated, you know, when in terms comes to sponsorship and what Joe Gibbs was trying to get for him, and then you have Ty Gibbs, you know, coming in for him basically, how he was treated for someone who was there since 2008 and basically carried Joe Gibbs Racing through the modern era, you know, their best ever driver, it was a little bit not nice, to say the least. And to have the awareness to realize, you know, that what Richard Childress Racing and that 18 were doing maybe wasn't a fluke. Like, Tyler Reddick really did struggle yesterday with 23XI. So did Bubba Wallace. The Toyotas in general, I think, struggled a little bit, except for, you know, I think Denny Hamlin, Truex before, you know, his tire decided to leave him. But, you know, those guys did pretty well. But 23XI, you know, did not really run well at all. And, you know, maybe Reddick, did he make a mistake leaving the 8 car? Like, we don't know. Well, again, we will see in the next 4 to 5 races, I think, like real confirmation of what Kyle Busch can do and how fast that 8 team is. But I am starting to believe that RCR can do it. Like, they can legitimately do it. If Trackhouse Racing with Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, and still their first few years in the sport, can get into the Final Four and compete to win a championship, yeah, I mean, Tyler Reddick was one of the favorites last season to get into the Final Four. He just had a bad playoff run. So I think, you know, yeah, it's definitely possible. And that's what the majority of this video was going to talk about, was Kyle Busch. And now how I'm really excited. And you know, very interesting to see the fan reaction. He was cheered. And this always happens, man. I didn't know if it would happen with Kyle Busch, but this always happens. All-time great driver. Win, 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 win. Boo, boo, you're boring. You suck. We don't like winners. We want change. Struggles a little bit, right? Then he struggles. He's getting older. You start realizing he's not going to be in the sport much longer. And then he wins, and it's like, oh, Kyle Busch, yeah. Oh, what a legend. Yeah, but it's like, did that with everyone. I mean, that, like, literally, Happened with Tony Stewart, happened with Jeff Gordon, happened with Jimmy Johnson. Like, do it with everyone. And that's just fan nature, right? Because if Kyle Busch would go out here in the next 4 years and win 4 straight championships, and he was 32 years old, everyone would boo him. But because he's older, he already is a 2-time champion, but he's been struggling for the past basically 2 years, goes into a new ride, and people maybe are finally seeing that his whole character is just a facade. He trolls you on purpose. He's not he is not genuinely a dickhead. That's just not who he is. If you would meet him in person, he's a nice guy. He's not a bad person. He plays a character. He's been doing that for years because he knows that NASCAR needs it. Now he gets it's like his face turn. For wrestling fans, you guys know. This is his face turn. He's been a heel for so long, and now he's a face because, you know, everyone likes him now, and he wasn't winning, and now he's with RCR, and everyone sees that Joe Gibbs kind of screwed him over, and now he's gonna go out there and try to win. It happens, you know, and you know what? I'm rooting for him as well, but you're still gonna get like that character of Kyle Busch. He's not gonna change. He's still gonna be like, if he gets wrecked or something, you know, happen, he's just gonna give those short interviews. He's gonna act like a little bit of a brat, and then, you know, that's just is his character. Like, that's just how he is. All right, let's get into the race results. We'll talk about some drivers as well. I'm going to try to keep this a little bit short. I really want to talk about Kyle Busch the most. I think that's the main story about this race was Kyle Busch. But let's quickly go across the results, talk about some of the drivers. So obviously Busch wins. Spent literally the whole video talking about him. Chase Elliott in second place. Yeah, ran well. Started from the back because of the Daytona 500 result. Ran pretty well, was able to get to second place, was pretty quick. I think just the long green flag run towards the end, he was not able to catch Kyle Busch. Was he probably the fastest car towards the end? I don't know, because Kyle Busch had a pretty big lead, so you don't really know how much he was pushing. But yeah, Elliott was quick, and top 4, Chevy. The Chevys were strong. Whether it was Alex Bowman, who was running really well, whether it was Ross Chastain, who I thought, definitely through the first 100 laps of the race, I thought he had the fastest car. And Daniel Suarez obviously did really well with Trackhouse Racing. And so, yeah, really good. For Chevy, they were definitely the fastest at Auto Club. We'll see if it changes next week. But Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, fantastic for Trackhouse Racing in 3rd and 4th. Kevin Harvick is the lone SHR car around, and he, Cole Custer had some issues. He said he had a really fast car. I don't know. I'm just saying, Kevin Harvick carrying SHR, we kind of know at this point. It's just feeling like RCR all over again. Like, it really is, which is kind of unfortunate. Denny Hamlin was the strongest Toyota. He was running in the top 5 most of the day. He ends up finishing 6th, but you can see no other Toyota in the top 10. Truex was pretty quick. It's just that he had that tire issue and he went down 2 laps. Okay, so the fact that he was actually even able to make it back onto the lead lap was really impressive. So I don't want to downplay what Martin Truex Jr. did. He was very fast, but other than Hamlin and other than Truex, who had that issue, it was really nobody else. Like, it was just not a great day for Toyota, and that might be a little bit of the norm here. I mean, you're just in one of the Toyota cars. You lost Kyle Busch, and you put in Ty Gibbs, who is a rookie, and it's just not really. I personally, I don't think that's going to work out for this season. Maybe for the future, yes, but for this season, it's not going to work out. Brad Keselowski did a really good run in 7th. He spun down the back straightaway, but was able to regain to 7th place. Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, and Joey Logano round out your top 10. Martin Truex Jr. again, he came back from 2 laps down to finish in 11th from that tire issue coming off the pit road with the left front tire just fell off the car. Daytona 500 winner Ricky Stenhouse Jr. comes home in 12th, and that's really where he's going to be for the majority of the season. Wins the Daytona 500, and then he's, Stenhouse is just going to go back to being that mid-level kind of car. So that's just kind of how it is. Chris Buescher, Corey LaJoie, Harrison Burton, Ty Gibbs, Gillen, McDowell, Eric Jones, Chase Briscoe round out your top 20. There were actually a lot of guys, like, for example, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, all having issues throughout the race. and not getting the best of days. The next 4 races, like I said, I think we have to wait another 4 races to determine who's going to be really fast this season. The next 4 races are a perfect example. You have Las Vegas Motor Speedway, mile-and-a-half track. All right, we know that. Phoenix Raceway, championship race, but also kind of a short track. So we're going to see who's fast there. Then you have another super speedway race with Atlanta Motor Speedway, and then you have a road course race in Circuit of the Americas. So the next 4 races, 4 different track types, you're going to very quickly see who are the quickest, whether it's going to be Chevy, Ford, Toyota, you know, which teams in there will also be very fast. Will it be Hendrick Motorsports that dominates Chevy? Will it be Trackhouse Racing, or will it be Kyle Busch? You know, will the Fords come back? How fast will Penske be? How fast will SHR be? And will Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota be quick as well at these 4 different levels of tracks? So, yeah, really, really good variety. And even after that, you go into essentially the short track schedule. And then there's no short tracks during the summer until you get to the playoffs. So, yeah, very, very interesting the way the schedule is going to work out, and is shaping up to be a very interesting season overall. Guys, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys next week as well for the race review from Las Vegas. I'll see you guys later, or not later today, but tomorrow for more videos as well. Take care of yourselves. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe, or subscribe if you are new. Yes, comment down below. And I might make one more video actually tomorrow talking about Fox, because that was my first race that I watched, you know, basically on TV. And I just have some words to say. Yeah, I don't think it's anyone's fault. It's just, yeah, they can improve. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.